What's going on, everyone? This is Vincent Life with Vince Luu, the format of my daily vlogs. I share my exercise for the day, I answer questions from the previous day's vlogs, and then I talk about whatever topic that I want to talk about for the day. So feel free to use the timestamps below as you see fit. Exercise for the day, easy, 4-mile run, just to get back into the swing of things. I'm going to throw the map up here, splits up here, and for the past few days, I've been at my parents' place. I've been trying to eat a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetable, but it just doesn't happen when I go back to hang out with my parents, hang out with my mom, especially when my mom cooks. I couldn't avoid the pho, I couldn't avoid the fried rice, I couldn't avoid the chow mein. I just had to have it, and I really didn't want to be that guy. Plus, she did go out of her way to make me like tofu and vegetable dishes. So it really wasn't that bad, but it still wasn't my normal diet. So whenever this happens, to get back on the horse, so to speak, I don't really like to go out on a super long run or even a medium run or even barbell lift. I usually like to come back, run 2 to 4 miles. It's short enough that I'll sweat it out, but not long enough to where I feel like super heavy, super groggy, because usually when I come back from like 2 days of eating like that, I'll feel really sluggish, and I just can't go for those like longer distances, and it feels really weird to even like barbell lift. So the 2 to 4 mile range is perfect for me. Sweat it out and it'll reset me for tomorrow. Let's get to some questions. Question number 1 comes from Run with Brad. He asked, what was the catalyst for change? This was in regards to one of my videos that I made 2 or 3 days ago, in which I got fit, became about that lifestyle, and then continued it till now. After college, I was overweight. I was about 165 pounds, a lot of California burritos, a lot of alcohol, especially after that last semester of when I stayed abroad in Shanghai, going out all the time. Not only Shanghai, but I went to Thailand, I went to Japan, I went to Korea, and I did a lot of eating and drinking, came back overweight. At that point, I was living at home, working for my parents, and I had a lot of time. And 2, I looked in the mirror and I was just not really that happy with myself. It's not that I hated myself, I definitely didn't hate myself, but I was like, oh, I definitely don't like the way I look. Plus, I've always wanted a six-pack. I've always talked about working out. I kind of went to the gym 2 or 3 days a week for 30 to 45 minutes, but it really wasn't getting me any results. So now was a perfect time. I was living at home, I was working, I had nothing else to do, so I wanted to take advantage of the time. Brian asked, what is your fastest mile? My fastest mile ever is a 5:30, which I ran in high school 15 years ago when I was a freshman. Very, very slow. And I remember that day because I came in last place, and it was by a meaningful distance, 75 to 100 meters. I remember because I was really embarrassed, I was dying, and I just felt everyone watching me like, yeah, come on guy, finish. And at that point, my coach gave us the option of choosing where we wanted to be in terms of if you wanted to be distance, if you wanted to do jumping, if you wanted to do sprints. I was like, all right, let me choose sprinting, because at least with sprinting, the gap isn't that wide. They're going to put me in heats that are like very similar in speed, and I won't get smoked by 100 meters. And even if I do, at least I'll finish within 30 seconds to a minute. Liz asked, what is your favorite cheat meal? Honestly, I don't really have cheat meals, just because I take a more if it fits your macros type of approach. I track all my macros and calories, so I make sure to fit in all the foods that I love in moderation. Though, I guess if I had to choose a cheat meal, I'd probably say nothing but cake, funfetti. I could probably eat a 12 to 14 inch cake all by myself. That would be a good cheat meal. Be the Greatest asked a 3-part question. First part, what is your height and weight? Height, 5'5", weight 133 to 135 pounds. Second part, what's your diet goals at the moment? Diet goals at the moment, maintain my weight, maintain my physique. I would like to get stronger, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm actually right now only focused on performance in ultra running and performance in jiu-jitsu. Last part of the question, how many calories are you consuming? I am typically consuming 2,600 to 2,700 calories on a normal day of exercise. A normal day of exercise looks like a 5-mile run, maybe a short lifting session. Any day that I am running more than 5 miles, however many miles more than I'm running, I'll add an additional 100 calories of food. For example, 13 miles, that's 8 more miles than 5, so I'll add 800 to 2600, so that's 3,400 to 3,500 that day. Last question of the day. Simon asks, how many consecutive days have you been posting? As of today, as of this video, this marks 104. The only day that I skipped was Blackout Tuesday, so 104 and going strong, aiming for 366. So if you tuned into yesterday's vlog, you saw that I was at my parents' place. I stayed there for a few days, and I even gave you a small tour of the koi fish pond and then gave you a 360 view from my vantage point of what the property and what the house looks like. So today, I wanted to talk a little bit about my family history and how that kind of wraps into me and my goals and what I'm doing for the future. Both my parents are born and raised in Vietnam, though they are 100% Chinese. So they were Chinese, Vietnamese. Similar to me, I am Chinese American, 100% Chinese blood, though I was born in America, Sacramento, California, October 6, 1991. Culturally growing up, it was a blend between a lot of different cultures. It was mixing in the American culture, the Vietnamese culture, and specifically Vietnamese Chinese culture, because Vietnamese Chinese culture is a lot different from mainland China, from Hong Kong, from Taiwan. It is very, very different. Even the Chinese spoken is very, very different, especially the Cantonese. So my parents actually speak 5 fluent languages. They're fluent in Vietnamese, they're fluent in English, and then fluent in 3 dialects of Chinese. First, they're fluent in Mandarin. They are also fluent in Cantonese, and then they are also fluent in Hakka, which I speak with all my dad's side, my aunts, uncles, cousins. I speak with my parents. We speak in Hakka. In Mandarin, it's called Ke Chia Hua. And with my dad's side, I speak that. With my mom's side, they don't understand Hakka. They can understand a little bit because of my dad's side, though they themselves, or we, speak Cantonese, but my Cantonese is so bad. I can understand a lot better than I can speak, though I just can't formulate my words as quickly as I can with Hakka. And I also took 2 years of Mandarin in college. I studied that, and I also went to Shanghai, spent about 6 months there. So my Mandarin is a little bit okay. I can be okay if you left me on the streets of China. I would be able to fend for myself, but I certainly can't talk about politics. So growing up in this culture, Vietnamese, Chinese, specifically Hakka culture, there is a heavy emphasis on family, filial piety, being a good son, being a good daughter, and really just making your parents proud. There's something right here in my soul that I want to make my parents proud. It is a little bit different than American culture. I feel that American culture, a lot of it can be geared towards the individual, whereas Chinese culture, as well as a lot of other different cultures, is a lot more geared towards family. My parents moved over to America about 35 years ago, and since then they've been able to build a pretty good life, not only for them, but for me, my brothers, my dad's side, my mom's side, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, everything. And a part of that, my dad's side of the family actually has a few businesses that have been doing pretty well for about 30 years or so, and that's where I worked, that's what my family does, and that's also had a pretty big impact as far as my own future. All throughout high school and even college, I knew that I eventually wanted to start my own business one day and or expand on my current family's business. So with that being said, that's why I decided to come back to pursue my real estate license so that I can help out my family. And plus, a lot of my aunts and uncles and the family business, they buy a lot of residential properties, they buy a lot of commercial properties, and they're going through an agent. So they were like, if one of y'all decides to get the real estate license, one of you should, you would get this commission. I was like, you know what? I can do it. I've always been pretty good with the books and I like learning, so this is a good opportunity for me. And the reason why I didn't do it right after college, because right after college, I honestly felt that I didn't have a lot of skills. So right after college, I got a recruiting job. I was a recruiter for about 2 years or so, taught me a lot. And I mean a lot. I am not afraid to cold call. I'm not afraid to ask questions. And the most important thing that recruiting job taught me was resourcefulness. And if I don't know something, I have to figure it out, or I'm just comfortable figuring it out when I don't know how to handle a certain situation. A lot of times you can just Google it, believe it or not. So that's where I'm at right now. I decided to move back up north to the Bay Area right around 1.5 years ago to pursue my real estate license and to hopefully help expand the family business. I was actually doing pretty well at that recruiting job. I'd been there for 2 years. I was a senior healthcare recruiter. It was for a healthcare company. We mainly recruited nurses and travel nurses, but we did a little bit of everything. I was actually in line for that next promotion to become a business development manager, which would be going out to the hospitals, be going out to the facilities, and then trying to get those contracts so that we can staff their facility with our nurses, with people on our bench. And that business development manager promotion would have been a big one. BDMs in that company usually make to start off $80,000 upwards to $130,000 every year that you put in, because your commission grows and grows and grows, and you have more people working and working and working, because they base a commission structure off where you start at. So they gave you a baseline and then you go up from there. So in year 2, year 3, you can make easily $100,000 to $130,000. And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn or to say this is how much money that I could have made. I'm only telling you all this so that I can be transparent, so that I can tell you and explain to you why I'm up to what I'm up to. So I decided to pass this up and to really pursue my real estate license, because even though that is a lot of money, I've seen the other side with my family, with my family's business, the way that they do business, that they do real estate, the money that they make. Plus, when you're working for someone, you're taxed at a higher rate. And if you start your own business, there's just more tax benefits and this and that. And really, I just felt like it was the time. I have the skills. Most importantly, as I said, the resourcefulness skill. If I don't know, I can figure it out, and I am comfortable figuring it out. And how my family and culture ties into all this, right now I am pursuing my real estate license, and I pass up this BDM promotion so that I can help out the family. And I am super happy about it. I don't necessarily feel like this pressure that I have to do it. Yeah, like obviously there's pressure to succeed, to make a living for myself, for my family, for my cats, for my girlfriend, for my future kids, and to make my dad proud. There is that type of pressure, but I want to do this. I want to pursue this because I've seen what money can do. And money is not everything. It is not everything, though money can do a lot of things, and it's not the money itself, it's the freedom that the money provides. So thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed that video. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a snapshot of what I'm all about. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Would love to hear from you all. If you want to catch another one of my videos, there's a video right here, there's a video right here. Please give this video a thumbs up. It really helped me out. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button right here. See you all tomorrow.